Why Giratina? That's right, Giratina. Why he's at number 5 is kind of simple to me, basically, but I don't know about everyone else, so I'll explain. In Diamond and Pearl, you had to go back to Turnback Cave and obtain him. Everyone thought he was cool, and it was a new thing that he's the one of the very first Pokemon to have a dark and not dark, shadow and dragon type. But what made him at number 5 is his newest form called Origin form, and the new Platinum. What made it kind of awesome, and once you look at it for a while, if you in Platinum, you're able to go into the inverted world or the distortion world, whatever they call it, and you can see that there's hardly any gravity there. In a way, technically, Giratina went through kind of like an evolution as we humans did from apes to humans. Giratina had no gravity to float on in his origin form, so again, he had to evolve into what we call his ultra form now, so he could walk around. But what's fun is, in Platinum, you can get the thing called the Gracious Orb. Gracious, I don't know how to pronounce it. Which means you can have him at origin form at all times. Alright, here we go. Number 4 goes to Travis Touchdown from the No More Hero saga, or series. In the No More Hero series, Travis Touchdown starts as an average Joe and becomes an assassin. With each victory he wins, he gets up the ranks. In the original No More Heroes, he starts out at 10 and goes to 1, finding out his sister, or his half-sister, Jean, is the one that killed his folks. At No More Heroes 2, Desperate Struggle, he comes back and starts at rank 50 because there's been so many other assassins. When he gets to number 1, he fights off Pizza Bat Jr., the man that killed his best friend. Sorry about that. But Pizza Bat Jr. did the same, because of revenge, because Travis did the exact same thing to him. At the end of the game, him and that's not needed. Sorry, I'll ruin the game for you guys. If you guys play, the reason why he's in number 4 is his, awesomeness to me, basically. Especially his attack names, like Strawberry and the Shortcake. That's what makes me laugh every time I hear the names. And another reason why he's at number 4 is, well, the occasional witty quote. I won't mention it because then that, again, would ruin the game for you guys. So I recommend this Wii game for almost any of you bloodthirsty assassin lovers of, any genre, basically. Kind of like Mad World. I think that's what it's called. Anyway, here you go. At number 3 comes Arturo Plateado from the Bleach franchise. Arturo Plateado was introduced in Bleach the Shattered Blade, the Wii game, where he came in with multiple attacks that we haven't even seen some Aron card do, like his X projectiles, whatever you want to call them, from the sky, and a beam saber, which kind of reminds anyone of Star Wars if they've ever watched it. And he came back in the third Phantom as it showed what happened in the past, basically. In his dialogue, he says he was one of the very first people to become a Aron card, which kind of means he's probably older than Baragon. Probably older than Baragon. Or not, probably. He said he's one of the first. He didn't say he was the first. Anyway, he comes in on the third Phantom as, in a way, Aizen's pawn, which kind of was mean because he's one of my favorites. What makes him at number 3 is what makes him different from other Ronkar. 1, he's not really obliged to anyone. He feels that he will one day take over the world. Somehow. 2, him able to keep, level footing with Genryusai Yamamoto the head captain, which is like very impossible for almost every character of Bleach except Aizen and probably what's their faces? Crap. I apologize. Joshiro and Kiraku. Those are the two or three only characters actually stand level footing out of the game. Arturo, it was so strong that even Yamamoto was feared of him in a way. And finally, what makes him probably my third favorite is the fact that his Zanpakuto name, which was released in the third fandom, is not Phoenix, it's Finse, which is Italian, which makes him the very first Arrancar to have an Italian name for Zanpakuto. Alright then, moving on to... In second place comes in as another tie with Alucard from Hellsing and Sephiroth from the Final Fantasy franchise. Why they are tied for second is because both of them have some amazing abilities and amazing equipment. I'll start off with the equipment first. First off is Sephiroth's giant katana, which means you could deal a lot more damage, you have a lot more reach, and it makes it a lot easier to attack your opponents. For Alucard's equipment, he has the Caswell and the Jackal, probably two of the most powerful guns in almost anime or probably manga history. What makes them so powerful is that in the first Hellsing episode, we're able to see the true firepower of the Jackal, but it was not enough to take on Father Anderson. Afterwards, Alucard got the Caswell, which was able to damage a regenerator named Anderson, or the regenerator Anderson, and somehow he was not able to heal himself, which is apparently in the manga, and hopefully will soon be in the anime. Their forms, which are for the final point, are much more, makes it a lot more easier to tell why they're number 2. I'll start off with Sephiroth with Sephiroth. Yeah, it's hard to pronounce the name. It is probably one of the most hardest bosses I've ever had to fight. It took me like 5 or 6 times. Jeez. And then, for Alucard, has multiple forms, which makes him probably one of the most powerful vampires. Which is why I hope he goes after Edward Cullen. No offense, any Twilight fan. I'm one too, but I'm not an Edward fan. I'm more of a Jacob fan. Probably can't hear me, right? I'm sorry. If you didn't hear that last part, you probably need to turn up your volume, but I'll make it easier. I'll just say it again. Both their forms are pretty powerful. Save for Sephiroth. Yeah, say his name right. He was one of the most powerful bosses I've ever had to fight. It took me 5 times to beat him. Alucard has multiple forms, which probably makes him one of the most powerful vampires in all history. I like him to go after Edward Cullen. No offense, any Edward fan. I'm a Jacob fan, that's why, probably. So don't get on me for that. Alright, and finally, for number 1 is... Ulquiorra, of course. One of my most favorite characters. Why don't I have Grimmjow or Hidan on here? Well, they are my favorites, but the reason I didn't add them in there because I wanted a new list because almost everyone knows my favorites. Like, of course, Hidan and Grimmjow are my favorites, so Ulquiorra, I have these ones as well. So let's get back to the point. Ulquiorra is my number 1 favorite is because of very few things, but also make him cool. In the beginning, when we first saw Ulquiorra, he looked like an emo. No offense to any emos out there. And as the series progressed a little bit, his appearance changed, would make him look a lot cooler. His second thing would be his immense strength. Able to take on a Getsuga Tensho, visored Ichigo, in a way, and sustain minimum damage, which is pretty cool. And then finally, what makes him at the number 1 list is his Segunda Etapa, which is probably which makes him the only Espada, or Arrancar, able to pull off such attack. Form. His attacks in that form is pretty intense. Lanzaderion Pago, that was pretty epic. Why he's at number 1 of his power is because it had to take a full Hollow Ichigo, the newer Hollow Ichigo, to take him down. I mean, if he couldn't take that on, we would have been screwed. We would have lost Ichigo. Which will probably make Ukiura probably the badass of the series. Probably could pawn Aizen if he tried hard enough. Anyway, that was my top 15. Soon I will be doing a top 15 least favorite characters. Sooner or later I'll get to my top 15 favorite games. Top 15 awesome top 15 awesome Wii games that someone should own. And then top 15 hard bosses, top 15 easy bosses, top 15 stupid bosses, and so forth. Hope you enjoyed this, and have a nice day. Probably don't get that a lot. Anyway, once again, thank you. This is Chaos Hellhound. Ciao.